Started today. I have started the recording as well. Good morning, everyone. So we will be just doing the recap of the things what we have learned till now. So anybody want to just do the recap what we have learned till now? Creation of the user from starting from creation of the user. Anyone?
Hi Vipin.
Yeah. Hi, Jamin.
Yeah, so until until for we learned um, like how to create users, groups, how to create like dynamic groups for the
Mm-hmm.
devices, and then we did like how to do enrollment settings,
Mm-hmm.
and we also did airbag role for users,
Mm-hmm.
and we did like uh, hybrid join scenario plus cloud only join scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and we also did like a verification through CMD, how to verify if it's device registered or
Yes.
joined. And we did like AD sync from AD to cloud, syncing all the users and groups, plus a device hybrid join through sync.
Okay. So till now we have learned these things and still we are not half of the way. Still there are three quarters pending. One quarter we have completed. So talking about autopilot today that we are going to start, we have learned the automatic enrollment of the devices. So before going to the autopilot, I'm sharing my screen. Okay, let me know if it is visible for everyone. Okay, so before going to the autopilot, there are few requirements of the autopilot that we have to understand. So first of all, we'll be preparing for Windows device. Autopilot is all about it. I will use Notepad. That is easy. Okay. So preparing autopilot. Second thing is that we are going to learn configuration of Intune. Configuration on Intune for autopilot to work. Third thing, we will configure autopilot. And at last, we will do the demo of the same. Okay, so these four things we are going to do for the autopilot. First of all, let's understand that what is the prerequisite of the autopilot and why we are going to use the autopilot. So traditionally talking about the tradition earlier, what we had followed, like if you guys have been IT guys, so you have to just put the USB in the device and then boot the device with the new Windows, and then after that you have to install the applications, images, and then hand over to the user. So that used to be a very hectic work. So in a day you have to do this task so many times that you might feel exhausted with that. So the process of deploying a new device begins with wiping the device, whatever operating system was pre-installed. So this is the prerequisite that it should be clean Okay, before working on any place or before going to work on any place, we are doing the cleanup of that place. So here we are cleaning up the operating system, whatever there in the Windows device, deploying one of the organization's image to the device. Then after that, we are preparing the device to deploy the organization image that you are managing currently. However, when admins are purchasing a device from OEM, that is vendor, Windows 11 is already the OS on the device. If you are purchasing a device, Windows 11 is already there. But in case if it is not there, then you can install it. While simply using OEM image isn't practical, Windows 10 introduces a new process called Windows Autopilot. Autopilot is designed to achieve the desired outcome of deploying a new hardware or refreshing an existing hardware with the organization's desired configuration without process of creating, managing and pushing large images over the network. So what autopilot allows us to do, so this can be asked in the interviews also and in the MD102 exam as well. So autopilot is designed to achieve desired outcome of deploying a new hardware. Desired outcome means the outcome that you want to achieve, outcome that your organization wants. So there will be settings, there will be things provided to you that you have to achieve this. uh, the page or ESP
Vipin,
page. Yeah.
can you admit Jeffrey?
Okay, Jeffrey and Prashant both are waiting. Sorry. Okay. So I was telling that autopilot is designed to achieve desired outcome. Desired outcome means organizer is saying that I want the logo of the organization on ESP page. So you can achieve that. I want that devices should be dispatched directly. There should be no involvement of the IT people. Everything should be done automatically. I want a particular application to directly install in the device that user don't have to go and install it like SAP and all. If there is account department, so what you will be asked that SAP application should auto download in the devices. So what we do, we configure the setting in such a way on out of box experience page that particular application is getting pushed on the device at the time of the configuration without the process of creating, managing, and pushing large images over the network. So earlier we have to do this same thing over the network, but here it is not required. You do the settings, everything will be done in the backend. So what is going to be the objective of learning this? Explain the benefits of modern deployment for new device. So autopilot is also known as the modern deployment. So there are two modes of the autopilot, that is V1, V2. I'll be talking about it at last because you might get confused that what is the difference between V1 and V2. As of now, you just understand that V1 is mostly used, V2 is rarely used at the moment. V2 is still in the testing phase, means people are still testing it, but how much trust they are showing on V1, the same level of trust is not there for V2 as per me. But the thought process or ideas can differentiate with each other. So moving forward, we are going to talk about V1 at the moment. So there are, let me tell you that as well. Autopilot have two versions. Recent version V2 has been launched. Earlier Autopilot was on V1 only. Another one is V2. So V1 is mostly device based. So the group, whatever the group will be there, here it will be a device based, and here it will be user based. As of now, just understand this. Okay. Describe the process of registering device in Autopilot. So we will be learning this as well. Process of registering device in Autopilot. Difference between a different method of scenarios of Autopilot deployment. So there are a number of methods that we can use to deploy the Autopilot on the Windows devices. And then troubleshooting common Autopilot issues which come, and the process of deployment using traditional method. So we can use the traditional method as well. We can boot the image in a USB drive, and from there we can push the things to the device. We can put the device image is there already, autopilot, it will take it. So that is also there. Moving ahead, so modern deployment takes a new approach provisioning device. One of the key benefits of Windows 10 and later is a feature called autopilot. So it came after Windows 10. Okay, so autopilot can only be applied on the Windows 10 and later devices. Windows Autopilot is a cloud-based deployment method. This is also important to understand. It is cloud-based. You cannot do the same thing in SCCM. You cannot do the same thing in other platforms which are not cloud-based, which are on-premises. So with Autopilot, you can set up the pre-configure new and existing Windows 10 or later devices. Pre-configure means earlier what we had to do, we have to just take the device, put the image, install the ISO, then after that you have to configure it with the settings, going to the VPN, configure the VPN, then configure the network, then configure the applications what are required. So we had to do it manually, but here what we are doing with the Intune, we are pre-configuring it. Means at the time of the deployment only the things will be done. You don't have to touch it, you don't have to go to the device and perform the things. So user in your organization use a new operating system, out of box experience we call it. So this is the place, out of box experience is the place where we are pre-configuring the settings that we require or that we desire, organization desires. So this is the place where we will be performing the most of the things to configure their devices without needing a Windows image. Autopilot offers the following advantages over on-premise deployment methods. You don't need to use images. You don't need to customize the deployments by injecting drivers. You don't need to deploy and maintain a deployment infrastructure. I'll be providing this in the notes so that everyone can go through it. It is just for the understanding. If anyone asks that if we are using the autopilot, so can we so is it required to deploy or inject the drivers? So you can say no, it is not required because everything is pre-configured already in the autopilot out of box experience page. So moving ahead, you don't need to deploy and maintain deployment infrastructure. Infrastructure means you want so and so applications, you want so and so settings to be blocked. So you configure the policy. As of now, we haven't learned the policy, but configuration of the policy, we will be learning that moving forward. So here, first of all, we are understanding that what are the prerequisites that our organization should have. Accordingly, if any prerequisite is not getting fulfilled, we will fulfill that prerequisite in our environment, and then we will be proceeding with the autopilot enrollment. Configuring autopilot deployment are relatively simple compared to traditional image creation and management. So it is simple and easy and user friendly. With no image to deploy, heavy bandwidth consumption is no longer a concern. Earlier, if you had to deploy the image, so there should be there was heavy bandwidth consumption, if I remember. So Windows Autopilot is cloud driven and based around Azure AD Premium and Microsoft Intune. Using Windows Autopilot, you can just a second. Okay, so using Windows Autopilot, you can join devices to Azure AD automatically, auto enroll your devices into MDM services, restrict the creation of administrator account, customize the out of box experience content especially to your organization. So these things, once we will do it, we will remember these pointers. New devices. Most organizations purchase new devices from a original equipment manufacturer, means the vendor. In this process, they typically buy the device with OEM license of Windows 11 using Pro Edition. So here we are going to understand that what is the prerequisite, means what type of Windows, is it home or is it pro or is it enterprise that is required to perform the autopilot. So this is also very important to understand. Organizations rely desire the OEM image, and until Windows 10 they reimage the device to configure it to the organizational requirements. We can read this. It's no longer necessary to reimage the device when it is already Windows 11 or later. If it is already Windows 11 or later, we don't have to do it. Regardless of OEM image configuration or installed application, Autopilot can reconfigure the device to suit the organization's requirement, including installing line of business apps. So here we have to understand that what Autopilot is actually doing. When you are configuring the settings on the Autopilot, you are defining that ABC application is there. This ABC application is going to be deployed on the user's device as part of line of business apps. What is line of business apps? Line of business apps are there which are used in your organization as a business app. So we will be configuring some apps, one, two apps like Office and all we will be configuring because Office is very much required. And as part of the understanding, we'll be just configuring the apps, then testing it, and then adding them in the out of box experience page so that once the autopilot profile is pushed on the device, it can be downloaded. Everyone got this till now? Anybody have any doubt? Just let me know, please. Anyone, any doubt till now? I know it is boring a bit because first we should understand the theory part, then we'll be going to the practicals, then it will be more enthusiastic and
All good. So far, so good.
okay. So quickly I'll be moving ahead, explaining the prerequisites. Okay, from the user's standpoint, turning on the device initiates out of box experience page. You have done all the settings from your end. Okay, settings are configured. What you have defined in the settings, that application A, B, C will download, and then you have defined that policy A, B, C will be pushed, XYZ will be pushed. Okay, and then you also define the compliance and all, so it is already included in the policy. So this is all. You have defined the settings. In the setting you have defined if the installation takes more than 120 minutes, it should show failure. So these things we are defining, and now we are defining the image also, logo of the organization. In which page? What is full form of ESP? Anyone knows?
Yeah. Enrollment status page.
Okay, so enrollment status page, we can define the logo of our organization. So these things we are doing it. Branding, which we call branding also. So these things have been done during which are now if user will open the device and everything has been done, user will put the credentials. Okay. After putting the credentials, what will come? The things will start happening. First of all, device preparation will happen. Device preparation means it will be checking the Windows devices, Windows patch. Is it already there? Is it up to dated? up to date, or is there anything pending to be installed from the security perspective, from Windows perspective? Device setup is done. Coming to the application installation, it will install ABC application, then policy XYZ, then everything it will do. If it is exceeding 120 minutes that you have set in the ESP page, then what will happen? It will show failure that you redo it. So these things we can modify in it. Once we will be going to that page, it will be in front of us. We can see how many settings we can enable or disable. So during which organization determines which options can be configured by the user. One potential benefit is the ability to have a zero touch installation experience. It is beneficial for whom? For the user or for the administrator? Anyone? How
For
zero touch? Yeah.
for the admin,
And from the user perspective?
yeah, for him as well, because then I don't have to touch the device to for configuration. It just do
Yeah.
automatically
Yeah.
for them.
So this is also very important to understand. It is so much asked in the interviews. I remember I asked one of the candidate that this question, that what is zero touch installation, zero touch deployment, and how it is useful for the user and how it is useful for you or beneficial to you. So how it is beneficial to the IT person, that you don't have to go and do the things manually, and you don't have to worry about the things. You can monitor the things from your end sitting at one place. Even you are sitting on remote, sitting on your bed, also then you can just monitor the things whether it is working perfectly or not. And same it applies to the user end also. User also don't have to worry that I have to install this application now. Once its setup is complete, I have to do this, and I have to run to the IT, this is not working as perfect. So these things user also don't have to worry. So that is why it is very much beneficial. So it is one of the potential benefit of autopilot, meaning the device is ready to use simply by plugging it in or turning it on. Refreshing existing devices. Over time, scenarios arises where it might be beneficial to refresh the device. Refreshing and syncing the device, it is also very much required so that it meets the criteria that you have set up from your out of box experience page. Performance might be impacted as more apps are installed over time, and it can lead to intermittent issues or challenges that are not easily resolved. As of now, in my organization, I'm talking about my daily work. So, on my daily work, I usually face these issues. There are users or IT people coming that they say that we were setting up the device. We faced that apps are not properly installing. It is taking too much time, and user is also getting frustrated. So and so challenges they bring to us. What we are going to do? We are going to check whether what are the required applications that are pushed from our end. We will check that, and then we will ask the end user that do you need all these applications. User, if user is agreeing that I don't need so and so application, what we will do, we will create a group of that device or that user. We will exclude that device or user from that autopilot thing, and then that user will be able to perform the setup of the device without installing all those applications which are not required for the user. Everyone got this? So there are ABC application we are configuring. We are configuring the Office application also in the out of box experience phase so that Office application is installed. Earlier in my scenario, I'm talking about when Office application was pushed during the deployment. So it used to take a lot of time to install. If you would have observed that Office takes time to install. So they had to wait for more than 120 minutes, and then it used to fail. So what we did, we excluded the Office application from the deployment profile, and then everything was smooth. As soon as the device is enrolled, then we started pushing the Office applications. So that was the scenario, and which fixed the issue. IT might elect to perform a wipe and load, and as with new deployments, autopilot can be used instead of traditional method. So you can perform the wipe also from Intune if you are managing the autopilot. So these things are the potential benefits or which are tackling the traditional method and removing the traditional ways of performing the IT related tasks. Similarly, if our device is reassigned to another user, Autopilot can be used to reset the device with a new out-of-box experience as if the device are wiped and re-imaged. So let's take an example. There is an autopilot device which you have given to user A, and now user A is leaving the organization, and another user is user B is coming who is replacing user A. What you gonna do? You are going to hand over the same device to the B, or what you how you gonna achieve this goal? Are you going to do the autopilot again for the user B, or you are going to use the same image or same thing? Anyone?
We'll reset the device and then we'll perform autopilot for the new user.
Okay, so once we reset the device, is it required to perform the autopilot again?
Yeah, because that user might need another kind of applications, or because he might belong to a different group, not be the
Okay.
same user.
You are correct, Jamin. But
If we do autopilot, then we might need to do like manually things, right? And
mhm.
autopilot does everything automatically for that user.
Okay. So understanding the autopilot scenario, that how autopilot is actually working. Every time there are users who need different set of the application, so we are not going again and again on the out of box experience page to configure the different set of the application so that it can be pushed from the autopilot. What we are going to do, we are going to set a particular set of the applications, that there are so and so applications which will be pushed during the deployment profile. It can be any user, not a particular user. If any user is facing the issue, then we are making the changes. Autopilot means you are doing the pre-configuration of the settings. You are applying the things prior to the deployment, prior to the setup. So we are not going to make any changes. We will keep the things same. Just we will do the reset of the device after taking the device from user A. Reset is completed, it is new. You will be again on the out of box experience page. It will ask to put the credentials. User B is there, you will ask the user B to put the credential, do the things, everything is done.
Okay. Yeah.
Got it? So we are
Yeah.
not going to do perform the same thing for the uploading the autopilot. Autopilot will already be there. Hardware hash ID or hardware ID will already be there in the platform in your autopilot. You haven't removed it. You just have done the reset. So once you are doing the reset, what is happening? The profile is getting deleted. Work profile of the user is getting deleted, and it is again taking you back to that ESP page, enrollment page, because enrollment profile is deleted after the reset.
Hmm. Okay.
So that's the agenda if you are doing the handover of the device to the another user.
And what about like, since the old user is tied up in the Entra as a registered user, right? As a primary user. So that
Mhm.
will be delivered automatically and the user automatically changes to that spot.
That's a good question. Yeah, user is the primary user. Okay, user A is the primary user of the device.
Hmm.
Okay, when you do the reset of the device,
Hmm.
it will reset. It will
Yes.
come again on the deployment page.
Hmm.
Again, user has to authenticate. User A has to authenticate, so that user A again becomes the primary user of the device because the primary profile is deleted post the reset.
Hmm.
So once we reset, It is going to delete the profile, work profile or primary profile of the user A. User A has to do the authentication again to achieve that. If instead of user A, user B is coming and doing the authentication, then user B will be the primary user of the device.
So it will change automatically, right? Once, as soon as user B signs in, it will change automatically, right, into the
Yep,
Entra.
yep, yep.
Oh,
Any other doubt?
no.
There are the devices which are the shared devices. Any user can log into that device.
Hmm.
We are achieving that as well with the autopilot. How?
But then how it will show the
There is a
join time?
there is a functionality in Intune. We call it as a shared devices, shared users, removing the primary user. So if there is no primary user for a particular device, then what will happen? Every time a user will put the credential, it is going to make that user, it is going to consider that user as a primary user and put the policies every time.
Is it possible that like multiple users log in the same time?
Not the same time, not the same time. So means if you'll take the example in the computer labs of a school, okay,
Hmm.
there is a school, so computer lab is there, so different class will come, okay, means class seventh class is coming, then after that eighth class is coming in the next period. So like that they have to log in with their own credentials, means students have to log in with their own credentials again and again. So
Hmm.
how those computers are enrolled? Those computers are enrolled in the shared mode only. So there will be a different profile for the shared mode. Deployment profile, autopilot deployment profile. You are going to configure the different in the different way. You are not going to push the policies on the devices during the deployment. Okay, policies, if you are going to push on the devices, it will apply to the device at once. But if the users are coming again and again, so there should be a user profile also to be deployed on the device. Then only it is going to make the trust and the user is going to use the service. So for that, what we are doing, we are deploying the user policies. So there are two policies. If you will see and go to any device and see, there will be two policies deployed. One is user policy, one is system policy. The same policy will be deployed two times, user policy, system policy. In case of the shared devices, we are configuring the settings in such a way that only user profile is deployed or only the device profile is deployed. Device profile is deployed at once, user profile will vary or change as soon as a new user is coming to the device and logging in.
Okay. Yeah, just like it's same like Active Directory, right? We have computer settings and user settings
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
GPU.
yeah,
It's like
correct,
same.
correct, correct. As an example, we can understand that. So, moving ahead, autopilot compared to traditional methods. This we can go through it. Deploying Windows 11 images traditionally in the traditional deployment it was yes, but in the modern deployment it is not needed. Can be pushed with any pre-installed operating systems. Can be used pre-installed operating system, yes, but here no. There's we cannot use it. We have to do it. We have to install the new operating system, fresh operating system, or we have to reset the device. Requires a previous Windows 11 installation,
If
traditional
it's sorry
method.
to disturb, your screen is not shared.
Okay, sorry. Okay, is it now visible?
Yeah.
So everyone can take the screenshots as well as per the requirement if anyone needs. Although I'll be sharing the notes. Yesterday I shared the notes. I think it was just a brief of MDM part. Requires a previous Windows 11 installation. Traditional method requires, it is not required for traditional method, but for the modern method it is required. use an on-premise infrastructure. In the traditional deployment, it was required, but for the autopilot, it is not required. Now, tools for preparing the deployment. These tools were used earlier. Windows Configuration Designer and Windows Autopilot is used for the modern deployment. We will be learning that what is Windows Configuration Designer and Windows Autopilot. Everyone knows about it. So Windows Autopilot is also a tool which is used to achieve the Autopilot V2. There are certain circumstances where traditional installation methods must be used instead of Autopilot. These scenarios include bare metal deployments. I'm not aware about it. Anyone knows about this? Okay, installing an operating system or application directly on physical server hardware bypassing virtualization layers of hypervisors. Okay, means doing the things manually. When the storage hardware where Windows 11 installed must be replaced. So these things we can read. I will be sharing it. Not very much important. Moving ahead, examining requirements of Windows Autopilot. So device must have Windows 10 pre-installed if you are going to perform the autopilot on any device. So Windows Autopilot transforms an existing and Windows 11 installation by providing configuration settings, out-of-box experience setup page. These things we can read. And what is the Windows version required means ISO or operating system required. Windows Pro, Enterprise and Education. We cannot use Windows Home for autopilot. Device must have internet connectivity. Everyone knows that when we are performing the cloud things, it is required. And these ports needs to be enabled. Most important things. If these ports are not enabled, then you are not going to, you won't be able to push the image on the devices because Intune server connects with the services over these ports only. Now I am stopping the sharing. I'll be explaining one more thing that you guys have seen Intune platform working on the web. So there should be some place that from where it is being managed. Anyone knows that how it is being managed from the Microsoft end? How the updates on the Intune or new things on the Intune platform being added by the Microsoft? Okay, let me tell you. Microsoft is managing the Microsoft Intune server. Okay, they are managing the server. On the server, they are configuring the settings if there is new thing coming up. And on the server only, they have configured the autopilot settings. And they have configured in such a way that if port 80 or port 443 is not allowed in your network, it won't be able to communicate with the Intune server. And until unless it is not able to communicate with the Intune server, you cannot push the image or you cannot achieve the autopilot from your environment. Everyone got this?
Yes.
Anyone have any doubt till now? Please guys speak up, participate. Anything or any questions?
I think Jeffrey has put the question in the chat.
Yes. Have you set up the Windows resiliency backup and restore where when you're going through the out of box experience, it gives you the option to restore the user preferences?
Okay, there is a setting, Jeffrey. Once you are setting up the out of box experience page, so there is the backup option that you can allow to the user that they can see the backup option and do the backup of the things.
Okay.
So which will be done on drive OneDrive. Usually, what is happening? Organizations are using the OneDrive. They are already paying the subscription for the OneDrive. So what they do, they ask the end user to take the backup of the things on their OneDrive, and then after that we can perform the reset and all.
Yeah, from my reading, this is more for like text size, accessibility, things of that nature, not like data such that's stored in OneDrive. It's different.
Okay, so you mean that the data can be stored on cloud on some mean somewhere?
N- No, the Windows resiliency backup and restore is for user preferences, such as like you got a custom text size or uh
Okay, 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 okay.
magnifier, things of that nature, and that's
Hmm.
being restored to the out of box experience.
Okay, so in the out of box experience page, if you will configure that page, so there are a number of settings that you can configure. So on that, there will be option even to take the backup also, and options to see that how that backup is completed or how much it is completed. And there will be option that you can enable to the user that users can see that how much means how much percentage or what and all applications have been downloaded, and options so that you option will be there that you can configure for the user can see the logs also.
Okay.
So in the out of box experience page it is there. We will be seeing it if there is no modification made. I last worked on out of box experience page 1 month back, so I also don't remember it exactly, but if we will be working on it we can see the things settings and understand that what setting is going to perform what. As of now, let's understand that what is the prerequisites. So these are the prerequisites. Microsoft Intra ID P1 or P2 license should be there. Guys, those who are using the trial account, they can take the trial of P1, Microsoft Intra ID P1 to perform the autopilot. It is required. Okay, so moving ahead. Intune or Microsoft Store for Business. It is also needed if you are pushing any application from Microsoft Store. You can upload device specific information in Intune Microsoft Store for Business and configure Windows Autopilot either in Intune or Microsoft Store. So mainly we are doing this in Intune, not on Microsoft Store for Business. But if there is any application that you want to push from the Microsoft Store directly to the end users devices, then we are using these services. Intune or another mobile device management services. If in your organization there are other mobile device management services being used, so it is also important that these URLs needs to be accessible on your network. So you can ask your network guy to allow these URLs. Okay, means these URLs should be the part of the whitelisted URLs in your network. Are we good till here?
Yes.
So preparing device ID for the autopilot we will come up, but we won't be doing it today. Case there is a very less strength also. We are 10 people. I'll be just giving the brief of it. After all your prerequisites are met, you can set up Windows Autopilot deployment. So before moving to the setup, what we are going to do, we are going to pre-configure the settings and how we want to achieve the things that we have to first make it sure that yeah, this is rigid policy means we are not going to change this policy. Accordingly we will apply those policies and we will see the settings. We will apply the settings, we will configure the deployment profile, then ESP page, and then after that comes the device preparation of the device ID, collection of the device hash IDs. We will upload the hash ID in Intune in Autopilot, then perform the reset. Device will be imaged because we have already configured the settings. So before doing this, it is also important to allow MDM and MAM services for Intune so that all the devices which are getting enrolled with the autopilot can be visible in Intune. And the MDM user scope should be allowed to all, or you can specifically allow to this particular set of the users. Till here I am closing for the day today, because if the theory is too much, then also it will be a bouncer for everyone. If anyone have any questions as of now, you can ask your questions. I will take it up.
Yeah, I have one small doubt. Like, if we say in Intune, like we are pushing applications too, right? So if you
Hmm.
install automatically autopilot,
Hmm.
we'll also configure the application after installation, or configuration is a separate part that we have to do manually, or we can also push configurations for those applications as well.
See. We will configure the application in the Intune. Okay, apps part. We will configure the application. Application is ready. We have tested that application is working. Okay. Then what we
Mhm.
will do? There is a group that we are going to use. That group will be added in the required mode for that application. Okay.
Mhm.
Once we have collected the autopilot hash ID, let me show it with the paint. Okay, it's a good question to understand the backend of it. Okay, your app is here and your device is here. Your Intune is here. Means inside Intune only your app is there. Let me make it like this. Okay, your Intune is here. What you will do, you will collect the hash ID of this application, this device. You will upload to your autopilot. Okay, you have uploaded it. Hash, I will write. After uploading, there is a group. Okay, you have created a group named as A. Okay, you have created a group, and in the out of box experience page you have assigned that group that whatever the hash ID is getting uploaded, that hash ID is going to get this group. Okay, because you are applying this group as a group tag, so this device hash ID will have this group, so it will be recognized with this group that it is a part of this group A. Hash ID is part of the group A. As soon as you will upload the hash ID of any device, that device will be visible in the intra immediately. And from intra only, this group will pick this device. Okay, this device will come under this group as soon as it is on intra. It is uploaded on Copilot, Autopilot. You have assigned this group tag. The device is not there in Tune yet. Okay, you have assigned it, and now it is here. What you gonna do? A application is there. In A application assignment section, you are going to assign the group in the required mode for group A required. So in application, you see three modes of deployment. I will show that. In the required, you will add this group, that all the devices which are coming under this group will have this application. Another way that we can do, when we are configuring OOBC out of box experience page, there is a setting, there is an option that you will get to add the automatic applications to be installed. You can select application A there, okay, application B there, whatever you want, application C. So these applications will automatically install as soon as user will log into the device.
Okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So
But
yeah, yeah.
what about, so after installation, what about the configurations for those applications? Like, we are doing configurations as well at the same time while pushing the app, or we are doing
Configuration
man.
configuration means application functionality, you mean?
Yeah, like for example, if we install Office applications, right?
Uh-huh.
So user have to, or sorry, not application, maybe let's say like Adobe application, Adobe Pro
Okay.
application, right? So it needs user sign in, right? Or any
User
other,
sign
let's
in.
say,
Okay,
any
okay.
settings onto that application.
We are pushing the certificates as well.
Okay.
During the deployment in the out of box experience page, we are pushing the certificates. Okay, user certificates will be there which will help with the single sign on. Any
Oh,
application that will be installed, user has put in their credential to install that application. User has already authenticated with the device. User has made the trust with the device with the certificate, user certificate. Okay, means we have already assigned the license to the user. User is having the license to enroll the device. As soon as user will enroll the device, there will be a certificate pushed on the device. Okay, user certificate. User certificate is there. It will help with the SSO single sign on. Whenever the user will go to any application and try to logging in, it will log in because the device knows that the device belongs to user A or user B.
hmm. Okay, okay, got it.
Okay, anything else from anyone? It was a good question, by the way, but until unless we won't do the things by ourselves or we won't see the things working,
Hmm.
we won't be able to get it or we won't be able to understand it. There will be always a doubt. When I first learned autopilot, when my senior was teaching to me, there was the same doubt, same questions I used to ask him again and again, that how it going to happen in the air.
Hmm. Right.
कि हवा में चीजें तो हो नहीं जाएंगी, means in air it won't
Hmm.
happen. We have to do the things something in the back end, but
Yeah.
when we study or we read it, it seems like it is happening in air, it is happening as a magic, how the things are coming automatically to that place. But it is not actually a magic. We have already made the settings. Okay, we have already done the things at the back end, so that is why it is working.
Hmm.
Okay guys, are we good for today? Anybody have anything? Okay, so we can close for the day today.